Hello. Don't forget to like and subscribe before starting the video. Who is Gerald Ford? Gerald Ford was the 38th President of the United States, serving from 1974 to 1977. He took office in the midst of one of the most turbulent periods in American history, following the resignation of President Richard Nixon due to the Watergate scandal. As Vice President at the time, Ford assumed the presidency upon Nixon's resignation, becoming the first and only president to have never been elected to either the presidency or the vice presidency. Ford's presidency was marked by a focus on healing and restoring trust in the government. He recognized that the Watergate scandal had eroded public trust in the government and in the presidency, and he worked to restore that trust by promoting transparency and accountability. He famously stated in his inaugural address, "My fellow Americans, our long national nightmare is over." Some text goes here. One of Ford's primary goals as president was to restore faith in the American political system, and he took several steps to achieve that goal. He implemented policies that promoted transparency and accountability, such as signing the Freedom of Information Act and the Privacy Act. He also worked to strengthen the relationship between the executive branch and Congress, recognizing that cooperation and compromise were essential to moving the country forward. Overall, Ford's presidency was defined by his commitment to healing and restoring trust in the government. He understood that the American people had been through a difficult and divisive time, and he worked tirelessly to promote unity and cooperation. Despite facing significant challenges during his presidency, Ford's legacy as a unifier and a healer has endured, and he is remembered as a president who put the country's interests above his own. Gerald Ford was born Leslie Lynch King Jr. on July 14, 1913, in Omaha, Nebraska. His parents divorced when he was young, and his mother remarried a man named Gerald Ford, whom young Leslie would later adopt as his own father. The family moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan, where Ford grew up and attended school. After graduating from high school, Ford attended the University of Michigan, where he played football and earned a degree in economics. He then went on to study law at Yale University, where he graduated in 1941. With the outbreak of World War II, Ford joined the Navy and served as a gunnery officer on the USS Monterey. He saw action in several major battles in the Pacific Theater, including the Battle of Okinawa, and was discharged from the Navy in 1946 with the rank of lieutenant commander. After returning to civilian life, Ford settled in Grand Rapids and began practicing law. He became involved in Republican politics and was elected to the House of Representatives in 1948, representing Michigan's 5th Congressional District. Ford would go on to serve in the House for 25 years, eventually rising to the position of Minority Leader. As a member of Congress, Ford gained a reputation as a hard-working and pragmatic legislator who was able to work across the aisle to get things done. He was known for his expertise in defense and foreign policy, and was instrumental in passing several major pieces of legislation, including the Clean Air Act and the Education for All Handicapped Children Act. Overall, Ford's early life and career laid the foundation for his later success as a political leader. His experience in the Navy taught him the value of teamwork and sacrifice, while his years in Congress honed his skills as a legislator and prepared him for the challenges he would face as President of the United States. Gerald Ford's presidency was marked by his efforts to heal the country after the Watergate scandal. In his inaugural speech, he famously declared, "Our long national nightmare is over," acknowledging the turmoil and division that had plagued the country for years. Ford recognized that restoring trust in the government and in the presidency was essential to moving the country forward, and he worked tirelessly to achieve that goal. In foreign policy, Ford sought to promote détente with the Soviet Union, emphasizing the importance of dialogue and cooperation between the two superpowers. He played a key role in negotiating the Helsinki Accords, which helped to reduce tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union and improve relations with other countries in Europe. On the domestic front, Ford tackled several important issues, including energy policy, the economy, and civil rights. He recognized the need to reduce America's dependence on foreign oil and implemented policies aimed at promoting energy conservation and the development of alternative energy sources. He also worked to address the economic challenges facing the country, including high inflation and unemployment, and promoted policies aimed at stimulating economic growth. In terms of civil rights, Ford supported efforts to promote greater equality and inclusivity, including the extension of the Voting Rights Act and the creation of the Commission on Equal Employment Opportunity. He also appointed several women and minorities to prominent positions in his administration, recognizing the importance of diversity and representation in government. However, one of the most controversial decisions of Ford's presidency was his pardon of Richard Nixon, which he announced just a month after taking office. The decision was seen by many as an attempt to move on from Watergate and heal the country's wounds, but it was criticized by others who felt that Nixon had not been held accountable for his actions. The pardon remains a topic of debate and controversy to this day. Overall, Ford's presidency was marked by his commitment to healing and restoring trust in the government. Despite facing significant challenges, he worked tirelessly to promote unity and cooperation, both at home and abroad. His legacy as a unifier and a healer has endured, and he is remembered as a president who put the country's interests above his own. Gerald Ford's legacy as a healing president who helped restore trust in the government has endured long after his time in office. Ford recognized that the country was in need of healing and worked tirelessly to promote unity and cooperation, both at home and abroad. His efforts to promote bipartisanship and work across the aisle were key to his success in bringing people together and restoring faith in the government. Ford's impact on future presidents was significant. He was a mentor and role model to many, including Ronald Reagan, who he had supported during his unsuccessful bid for the Republican nomination in 1976. Reagan admired Ford's leadership style and his commitment to bipartisanship, and many of the policies and initiatives he pursued during his presidency were influenced by Ford's ideas and approach. Ford also played a significant role in the career of George H.W. Bush. He supported Bush's campaign for the Republican nomination in 1980 and helped to smooth the way for his eventual ascension to the presidency in 1989. Bush credited Ford with teaching him the importance of putting the country's interests above partisan politics and of working to bring people together to solve problems. After leaving the presidency, Ford remained active in public life, advocating for human rights and promoting civic engagement. He established the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Foundation, which supports education and research related to his presidency and works to promote leadership and civic engagement. Ford also continued to work on issues related to foreign policy and national security, serving as chairman of the National Committee on U.S.-China Relations and participating in numerous other organizations and initiatives aimed at promoting peace and stability around the world. Overall, Ford's legacy is one of a unifier and a healer, who helped to restore faith in the government and promote unity and cooperation both at home and abroad. His commitment to bipartisanship, his leadership style, and his advocacy for human rights and civic engagement continue to inspire and influence leaders today. In conclusion, Gerald Ford's presidency was a time of healing and restoration for the United States. He faced the daunting task of rebuilding trust in the government after the Watergate scandal, but his leadership and commitment to bipartisanship helped to unite the country and move forward. Ford's impact on American politics cannot be overstated. He was a bipartisan leader who prioritized the country's interests over partisan politics, and his legacy as a unifier and a healer continues to inspire and influence leaders today. It is important for viewers to learn more about Ford and his presidency, as his leadership and legacy offer important lessons for today's political climate. By studying Ford's approach to governance and his commitment to healing and bipartisanship, we can gain a better understanding of how to move past division and work together for the common good. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.